Welcome to the Jim Bakker Show, coming to you from the village of Morningside, snuggled in the beautiful Ozark Mountains. Today, Jim's special guests, Doctors Bruce and Leslie Fife. I'm Kevin Shorey, and that's the Morningside Band. And now, direct from Gray Street at Morningside, here are your hosts, Jim and Lori Bakker.
Welcome to Gray Street, and we are so happy to have you here. And this is one of my happy weeks because I found Dr. Bruce Fife. Dr. Fife, most dignified gentleman, and his dear wife is with us today. Leslie is here.
Bunch of coconuts.
And this is the Coconut Man, and Kevin's trying to learn the song for me.
I even try to dress up in the coconut attire, but
Kevin gets into the spirit of things.
I do.
And we've already asked Dr. Fife to come back because he has a dozen more books we got to talk about. So next time he comes back, we'll have a Hawaiian day. And little Lori, if you'll try to find the Hawaiians, they're probably back in Hawaii, but it'll be a fun time.
Maybe we could go there and have.
that's even better. Meet us in Hawaii, Dr. Fife. I feel that.
I know Sasha loves Hawaii. I know I love Hawaii. So maybe we could go there.
I don't know what. We're really getting carried away here.
Anyway, we have got to get started today. I know that.
You can't wait.
No, I can't, because I want this information to be shared with you. And there's so much that Dr. Fife and Leslie have to share with us today about the healing powers, the amazing powers of coconut.
And we're introducing his brand new book. I don't know if he even saw it before this. It just arrived. You hadn't even seen it, right? It just came from the printing. He just saw it. This is his brand new book, and we get to introduce it. It's called The Coconut
Ketogenic Diet.
Ketogenic Diet.
That's right.
I have interpreters here. And it's supercharge your metabolism, revitalize your thyroid function, and lose excess weight. You're going to love this. How to eat coconut oil, coconut and fat, and get skinny. You're going to find out what you've been doing wrong.
So we get to offer this to people
Today.
today?
Today.
Oh, this is exciting.
Hallelujah.
Doctor, it says
Hallelujah.
what you need to
Hallelujah.
eat.
Hallelujah.
Why you need to eat fat to
Coconuts.
lose fat.
Yes.
Now, that's crazy. We'll talk about that today and tomorrow, okay? Why you should not eat lean protein without a source of fat. You're controversial, doctor.
That's good, though.
How to lose weight without feeling hungry or miserable.
How? Yes.
Do you like that, Kevin?
Bring me on. Bring the book. Come on.
How to stop foods cravings dead cold.
Oh, anyone have those
Which
food
fats
cravings?
promote health and which ones don't?
Wow.
The answer may surprise you, it says on the back of your book. This is brand new.
How to jumpstart your metabolism, ladies, when you just feel like you're in your 50s, there's no more metabolism. I told Sasha, I give anything to be her age again and have my metabolism just going. And if we could bottle up your metabolism, we would be billionaires.
You gotta be kidding.
I'm not kidding.
true.
My mother and I say it all the time. This guy's metabolism's
He eats everything.
He eats-
but it's healthy.
No,
but
I don't. I do not eat junk.
You don't eat junk. You eat healthy food, but you eat all of the healthy
But
food.
I'll tell you what, Dr. Fife is...
all day long.
Yes.
I've learned something from Dr. Fife. Because my health was better. My diabetes was basically gone. I mean, when you drop down to AC, what do you call it?
AC1.
AC1. And the last test a few weeks ago was 5.1 when the doctor came out and said it's 5.1. He said you don't have diabetes. He said you're a pre-diabetic, what we'd call with those numbers. Is that right?
Yep.
Well, you control it with food.
But the problem is, I ate right. So I just automatically lost weight.
Right. You sure
But I realized my brain power was diminishing. my thinking, my brain, and the whole thing. And I know I'm getting older, and I've never been able to remember names. I declared war on Alzheimer's a few months back. I just said, I'm tired of my friends dying of it. I'm tired of, people that I love. They leave you before they die.
Yeah.
It's just wrong. And I said, there's got to be some answers. And then I found out some countries have almost no Alzheimer's. So it had to be environmental. There had to be something we were doing wrong. And you'd see a husband and wife that had no blood, they weren't blood relatives, and yet they both would have Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
You see,
Yes.
that made me think maybe it's environmental. Maybe it's something we're eating. Maybe it's what we're doing, And as I began to study, and of course I went online, I found everything. This book over here, I don't know how it got way down there. It's called The Grain Brain. And I saw this man on television, amazing, Dr. David Perlmutter, and I hope I'm saying his name right, MD, and all through his book, I have it all marked up, he's kept talking, coconut, Alzheimer's, the number one answer, coconut, he says. And he's an MD and a brilliant man about the brain. And then I started reading about Alzheimer's patients when they do autopsies. I don't want to talk about that, but it found out their brains had shriveled up. And they weren't getting food. And then I found out our brain was 60% oil. And you agree, right?
Yeah, 60% fat and cholesterol.
60% fat.
Not oil, but
Not
fat.
oil, yeah. But, you know me, I call fat and oil the same thing. But, so your brain needs food.
That's right, it needs fat.
And also, and cholesterol is not all bad. We call it a bad cholesterol, a good cholesterol,
right.
And you even think some of what we call bad is good, because if you don't eat it, your body's going to try to make it. Is that correct?
Your liver makes cholesterol, your brain makes cholesterol, and the reason your brain makes cholesterol because your brain needs cholesterol. It's part of the brain cell. You have to have it. And cholesterol is used throughout the body. It's part of your immune system, believe it or not. It helps fight off infections. It also is used to produce vitamin D. It's used to produce your hormones, many of your hormones, your sex hormones. You have to have cholesterol. And so if you start reducing it, you're going to affect your brain, your hormones. You're going to affect a lot of parts of your health. And so you need to eat good fats. You need to have cholesterol in your diet.
Now, I know we're not allowed to talk about medicines, but the cholesterol medicine, everything I've read, you could help me a little bit, but everything I've read is the so-called statin drugs, and I'm not against anybody, I'm not against the drug people, but that everything I read was there's actually no proof that it's doing good for us. In fact, everything I'm reading by these different MDs, they're saying, a whole bevy of MDs are saying, we don't have any proof that these drugs are really helping us. In fact, they're thinking now that maybe part of the problem with causing Alzheimer's is that we're starving our brain from the needed, help me, doctor.
Well, that's exactly right.
Doctor.
That's exactly right. By taking these drugs, by reducing our cholesterol, we're actually reducing the cholesterol in our brain. And one of the known side effects of these drugs is dementia. Also, another side effect is diabetes. Wow. These are known, documented.
Both epidemics.
Both epidemics, right?
Total epidemics. There's no question about it. Diabetes and Alzheimer has become epidemic in this country.
In fact, you can chart when these drugs hit the market and the rate of diabetes, and they parallel each other.
Now, his book, Stop Alzheimer's Now, I want to tell you, I'm the guinea pig, and this is Sister Guinea Pig over here, my wife. We're two pigs. We test everything. Do you know what happened? Talking about pigs.
If I was a big fat woman, that would not be a nice thing to say.
Talking about pigs, because they gave coconut oil a bad name. Is that right?
Well, coconut oil got a bad name because it's primarily a saturated fat. People think, oh, saturated fat is going to cause heart disease, but not all saturated fats are bad. In fact, saturated fat in itself really isn't bad. And coconut oil is different from other saturated fats. It's different from other type of oil, and it has very many health properties, and one of them is brain health.
So the people stopped eating coconut oil, which is the best, I think it's the best ingredient known to mankind. And so there was no use for it. The factories were closing, the processing plants were closing. And so they started feeding the coconuts to the pigs. Before God, this is true. I've read this. It's got to be true if it's in writing, right? You know this, doctor. And guess what? They had to stop feeding the pigs. Now, I read this. You tell me if I'm wrong. The pigs got skinny.
Well, see, they tried.
It wouldn't fatten them up.
That's right. They fed the coconut to the pigs because it's high in fat, and they thought, oh, the fat will fatten the pigs up for market. But when they fed them the coconut, they lost weight. And that's why coconut can be used as a weight loss aid.
And the brand new book,
everybody
out
is now
today
eating
on the
their
Jim
coconut.
Bakker Show, brand new book, The Coconut Ketogenic Diet. Boy, is this filled with stuff. Oh, but we're not going to do that right now.
Oh, that's so good. This
But
coconut. Oh,
I am so mad at Alzheimer's.
yes. Yeah.
And I hope Margie doesn't get mad at me. And she still is a bright woman, but she sometimes don't remember what she said 5 minutes before or 1 minute before. And the Alzheimer's is, and I love this woman. I love her, Lori, as much as any human being on earth. Donna Puckett and my sister and Marge are two of my favorite people in the whole world. And to see this brilliant woman who taught until she was 80, and she's leaving us little by little. I hate Alzheimer's. I'm sorry, but I'm not supposed to hate, but I think I can hate Alzheimer's and what it does to people. And I knew there had to be some answers. So I spent the last months of my life, and I want to tell you something. You can tell I'm excited, but since I have been doing the coconut, my brain has improved 100%, doubled. My thinking's coming back. My energy's coming back even. I don't know why my energy would come back, but being able to think, being able to remember. I'm able to remember so many things. And Zach, I'm just going to ask you right on live television. Don't you think you're seeing a difference?
Yes, I do.
In my brain power?
Yes. Just from simply just sitting back in your office, it's neat to see the fast process. And we've actually learned about this. For example, the lady doctor who wrote a book about her husband who had such severe state of Alzheimer's, he pretty much lost function in all areas. Well, he would take it, and that same day, she started to see results. The same day.
I eat. You told me in your books, forgive me if I say you told me, but I read your books. But I'll take 5 times a day. I have it on my counter in my bathroom. I just take it by this way. It's coconut. But look at here. This is what I do. This is for my brain. Jim's brain needs some food.
See, Pastor Jim, the thing is, because
And
of the
Mel,
epidemic,
it's coconut.
almost everybody, if not everybody, has a family member who has Alzheimer's or who has died from Alzheimer's. So this tree of life, natural coconut oil, really is a blessing from the Lord, because it can.
It's a God thing.
It really is. It really is.
This is Mrs. Dr. Fife, by the way. Leslie, if they already have it, would you say go ahead and start, even if they're gone,
Definitely. I mean, you can use coconut oil to prevent Alzheimer's, but what's fantastic is coconut oil can be used to stop the progression of it, reverse it, and even in many cases completely eliminate the disease.
You've actually seen it. You were talking yesterday about a pastor, was it?
Yes, let me tell you the story.
We never finished it.
We didn't finish it, yeah. There's this pastor, he was retired, and he got an infection that went to his heart. It was a fungal infection. He went to the hospital, and the infection spread throughout his body and actually went into his brain and started destroying his brain. And he was in intensive care for weeks until they finally got the infection under control. But by that time, it had destroyed so much of his brain that he was severely demented. In fact, the doctor said it was permanent. You need to have him institutionalized, but his wife, just couldn't do that. So she brought him home. And he was in really bad shape because he couldn't even speak. He couldn't even finish a sentence before he started just babbling on. So he couldn't communicate anymore. Well, she got so depressed because of this that she finally, kneeled and asked God for help. Please show me a way to help her, my husband. The very next day, she met a new person on her Facebook who told her, try coconut oil, and told her to go to this video of this doctor whose husband had Alzheimer's and showed how she was successfully able to treat him. And so...
And she's written a book. Is that the one we're talking about?
The doctor, yes.
Yeah, MD. Her husband had Alzheimer, and he was not functioning anymore, really. And she said her husband came back.
Her husband came back, yes, using coconut oil. And so she watched this video. And interestingly, 2 weeks before this, on a whim, she had bought a jar of coconut oil. She didn't know why she bought it. She bought it, put it on her shelf, and completely forgot all about it because she didn't know anything about coconut oil. But after seeing the video, she knew why she was inspired to buy it. So she went, she got it, she started feeding it to her husband. She gave her husband a couple of tablespoons. Within 3 hours, he was speaking in complete sentences. He wasn't babbling anymore. That's where we ended last time on the story. Yes. But there's more to it.
There's more. I didn't know that.
She continued to give him this oil every day. He regained the ability to read and to write, to get in on a computer, to surf the internet. This is someone who was so severe he couldn't even speak. Eventually, it took 2 months, and at that time he went back to the doctor for a reevaluation, and he was essentially normal. So he went from severe to normal in 2 months using coconut oil.
If you want to order today's gift thing, first of all, you'll get the Stop Alzheimer Now book. This is a big book, a lot of pictures, and illustrations here. But some of the most famous people in the world have Alzheimer's. People if I named the names, they're in here, they're in this book. You'd be shocked to know who we know so famous that they are now basically, they're still alive, but they're gone from us because of Alzheimer's. But here's the answer. Stop it now. There's a plan in here. Maybe we'll even go through that a little bit today. How to begin the war on Alzheimer's for you and your family. But this book, and then this is an amazing book.
The oil pulling therapy.
And this, what was the saying? All disease starts in the mouth, doctor?
That's correct. Basically, what oil pulling is taking some oil, a spoonful of oil, and putting it in your mouth.
Maybe not that big. Coconut oil.
And
just like
swishing
this.
it around in your mouth.
Okay, so I'm going to do it right now because I do this twice a day. So I'm going to take mine right now.
And you swish it like you would a mouthwash. Now, I recommend
Mm.
you do it for 15 to 20 minutes at a time. And people hear that and they say, what? That's a long But really, it's not. Because while you're doing that, you can read the paper, you can make your breakfast, you can take your shower.
Take your shower. That's mine.
And so time goes by really quick. I do this every single morning, and I get so involved with what I'm doing that sometimes I'll go 30, 40 minutes, and I
you forget that you're doing it.
I forget that I'm doing it.
going.
I did it this morning, and there again, little particles of stuff it starts coming out from between your teeth. Seeds come from out that you didn't even know were there. You were saving them for a rainy day or something, but they've coming out, and it doesn't take your feelings
the whole pot
out.
roast fell out.
Right.
People think, well, it hurt my feelings. No.
You know, sometimes on the internet, people have said, well, I've done oil pulling and it's pulled out my crowns or it's pulled out fillings. Well, the only time it ever would do that, because it can do that if the filling or the crown is properly placed, but if you have rotten teeth underneath that can't be seen, and your teeth is rotting away and festering this infection, then it may loosen. And in that case, you definitely want to have those fillings out because they're killing your teeth, they're rotting it out. And so that's a blessing if it does loosen these, because you need to have them out and you need to have those teeth corrected.
Is it true that heart attacks, one of the biggest causes is infection in the mouth?
Definitely. Infection in the mouth can get into your bloodstream, circulate throughout your body, and can infect any organ in your body. In fact, it's very well known that bacteria in your mouth can get in your bloodstream, go to your heart, and cause heart failure. In fact, when you go to the dentist, he knows if you've had any heart conditions, he will prescribe antibiotics to treat the infection that he's putting into your body while he's doing his dental work.
Because the infection's going into your system,
Into your bloodstream.
swallowing and all
Yes.
that. Okay, so, but this special offer for this week only, you get the book, Stop Alzheimer's Now by Dr. Fife. You get the oil pulling book by Dr. Fife.
Yes.
And it does so much that it is simply amazing.
Yes.
I've seen so much change in my life since I started oil pulling.
Well, you know, Leslie has a good story about oil pulling.
Well, I have two of them actually. One is when you go to bed and you've flossed your teeth, you've brushed them really well, and in the morning and you swish, it's amazing. Sometimes you can even get that raspberry seed, that little piece of onion, that you thought your mouth was so clean before, but now, I don't know where it was, in the pockets of your gum or something, and it still comes up. Even after you brushed and flossed your teeth the night before very well, your oil pulling, swishing is another word for us, and you will still find these things in your mouth.
So true. I have so experienced that so many times, Leslie. Exactly the same thing. Yes.
And then I have
You know, Leslie, you just brought something. I have, because I like to eat the salva seed and all that.
yeah,
I get them up in my gum, and I get pain
because they go
and
underneath.
infection.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
I every few days I have really sore pain, and I know something's up there, and I'm flossing trying to get out. Do you know, since I've been oil pulling, I haven't had one time, and it just dawned on me when you said that.
Yep.
It's pulling all that infection out of there, and so that because my gums will get so sore from, I don't know what's going on up there, but something gets caught up in there.
What's happening is you're getting food particles up there, and the food then supplies food for the bacteria, and so you got bacteria growing and infecting your gums. And that's the great thing about oil pulling is oil pulling, what it does is it's pulling bacteria and infection out of your mouth along with pus and mucus and plaque. And so you're cleaning out your mouth, making your mouth healthier.
Yeah.
You're reducing the load of bacteria that's coming into your bloodstream. And so if you get rid of that, then your body is going to be healthier. Your immune system will be stronger, be able to clean up the body.
On the back of your book,
Yes.
it's really crazy because all the doctors on the back of your book that are talking about this are all MDs. And so a lot of my doctor friends are really, really endorsing what you do.
One of my friends, June, with this Coconut Cures book that has all the treatments using coconut oil.
Yes.
She cut herself on the arm with a rusty paint can lid.
Yeah.
She washed it out dutifully, soap and water, but she went to bed and it festered and festered. And 2 or 3 days it continued to fester, fever, the infection. And she said, okay, Lord, the next day when I wake up in the morning, if it's going to be infected still, I'm going to go call the doctor. But Leslie told me over and over again to put coconut oil. So she saturated her arm with the coconut oil where she had hurt herself. And by the next day, the infection was still there, but it was down a lot. The fever had gone. It was still red, but the swelling was down. She continued throughout the whole day, keeping it wet. And by the next day, the infection was totally gone. And by within 3 or 4 days, the redness, swelling, and it was healed.
Because it was probably pulling out all those toxins and poisons too.
And that's what's in this Coconut Cures book, is treatment on your body and in your body with coconut oil.
How many things that it deals with? Have you ever counted up?
I didn't count them one by one, but it has an A to Z list of health problems that coconut
Cataracts,
can help.
chapped lips, chicken pox,
That's great.
Crohn's disease, cuts and wounds, dandruff. I mean, diabetes. It goes. There's a whole section here from A to Z, and and on the back it talks about prevents heart disease, dissolves kidney stones, balance blood sugar, and control diabetes, enhance the immune system, protects against cancer, boosts your energy, increase your metabolism, lose excess body fat, kills disease causing bacteria, viruses, and fungi, relieves symptoms associated with irritable bowel syndrome and Crohn's disease, protects your skin against free radical damage that causes premature aging, and much more. You talk about cereal. If anybody likes sugar on your cereal, don't put sugar on your cereal. Don't kill yourself. Sugar is, I don't believe God ever intended us to have refined sugar.
It is. It's the root cause of Alzheimer's, diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, all the major diseases.
Cancer loves sugar, by the way.
Cancer feeds on sugar. You have to have sugar in your body for cancer to even exist.
Go ahead. Tell me what you're doing. Here, she's got a KitchenAid mixer.
I do, and right here with the mixer, I'm going to take some heavy whipping cream. This is 2 cups of it, and I'm going to pull this back.
Dear God, we're living dangerously.
No, she's...
Yeah.
Here we go. So I'm going to pull that back and then dump this in.
You're seeing
That
the
is
world's
2
first
cups.
miracle of turning milk into something with a teenager.
Then I'm going to borrow that coconut sweet powder over there real quick.
Now,
And so-
how much are you going to put in there?
This is actually going to have 8 scoops of this.
It
so
comes
it's
with a
really
scoop.
coconut.
When this is our, and you get this in the offer that we just
1,
had on the screen before this one.
2,
2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8.
okay.
And then we're going to put, where is it? A teaspoon of vanilla extract. And so we'll put it right in there.
Oh, and now, is there anything else?
And then that's it. And so
That's all for sure.
that's all for sure.
Okay, that's how you make Grandma Irwin's old-fashioned whipped cream, only without the sugar.
That's right.
This is without the powdered sugar.
That's right. And so now I'm going to turn it on low. And then I'm just going to keep making it go higher until we're at 10.
All right.
Dear Jesus, don't let it turn to butter.
It won't. And so we're going to watch it. It takes a little bit less than a minute. But we're going to watch it until it gets to cream.
Whipped cream turn to butter. Anybody ever seen it? And I mean, it don't wait for nobody. When it says it's butter time, bam, it's butter.
Yes, there's a
You know what I'm
small
talking
window
about,
in
Dr.
between
Fife?
that.
You actually create a lot of recipes, Dr. Fife.
I do a lot of cooking, and I experiment a lot, and I've written 3 cookbooks.
Wow. You're obsessed with coconut.
Yes, I am. And the more I learn about it, the more I learn about it.
Oh, that's good.
But you're actually saying you could use some. Now, if you're allergic to stuff or whatever, go to your doctors before you do anything. I got to do a disclaimer here. Just, I mean, to some people, water's dangerous. But this, I would ask my doctor. But you and I were talking the other day, we're talking about whipped cream and the cream that actually there's a lot of good in the whipped cream because it's also feeding your brain. Is that correct?
Yeah, whipped cream's good. It's a natural product. People have been eating cream and whipped cream for thousands of years. I mean, it's not a harmful food. And again, it's full of fat, which is full of good fat, healthy fats.
But I mean, I wouldn't eat a gallon of it a day or something, you know. But if you want something that is part of the brain, but here's what it is: we put all of this coconut, our coconut powder, and I'm sure we could use this.
Yes, you could.
And which I'm going to introduce. And how many more?
It's almost done.
Okay.
Look how perfect that is.
So, isn't it wonderful?
It's delicious.
But
I wish I could say I
love
made
it so much. I love it so much. And Drew, who creates
is amazing.
he tests everything
I just have to
and
have it taste
creates
awesome.
recipes and things like that. And there's what it looks like.
Oh
See?
my goodness, Kevin, get your spoon.
Isn't it so good?
But this
Oh,
is
my goodness.
this is our coconut whipped cream over there. There is this powder. Just put some out there. That's the flour. The flour that's made
Jim, you should ask
from
Bruce
coconut.
what coconut flour is. Have him explain.
Some people
so
may
the
not
audience will
actually
know.
understand what coconut flour is. You know, do coconuts have flours? I mean, coconut flour is basically made from coconut meat, and you take the meat and you dehydrate it and defat it and then grind it into a fine powder. And it looks and feels just like wheat flour, and you can use it to make baked goods, similar to wheat flour. However, since it doesn't have gluten in it, and since it is a high percentage of dietary fiber, so it's a good source of fiber, which makes it low carb, its cooking properties are very different. So you can't use regular wheat flour recipes with coconut flour. So that's why I wrote this book, as I had to basically invent the recipes to use coconut flour. In fact, before this book was written, no one knew how to use coconut flour.
God bless you, Dr. Fife.
It
I'm
was
telling you, we need
used-
to thank this man for what he's doing. All right, what does the artificial sweeteners, and we don't need to name their name. We can name the what's inside of them, the certain types. What do they do? What does artificial sweeteners do?
They do a lot of bad things. One of the things that they do is they go to the brain, and some of them are referred to as excitotoxins because they cause the brain to go in such a feverish mode of activity that they burn themselves out. It's like a power surge coming into your computer and burning out the circuits. The same thing happens in our brain every time we eat artificial sweeteners.
Wow. And it really is bad.
Yes.
You say that actually causes us to gain weight.
Oh, definitely. Very interesting, yes. People use artificial sweeteners because they want to cut down on calories, but science has shown that when people use artificial sweeteners, they gain more weight. If they would have lost more weight if they stayed with the sugar.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
why so many people gain weight on diet sodas.
Yes.
I've heard it so many times and seen it so many times in people because you think that it's the right thing to do to have diet soda as opposed to sugar. And I know people who are addicted to diet sodas. And yeah, it makes you.
I know
It makes
people
you.
who even their doctor said died because they drank nothing but diet sodas. And it does kill, I guess, mice and rats and gives them cancers and things. But so they say they're not getting enough. But if that's all you're drinking, you know, why don't we drink water? Is water okay, doctor?
Well, science says water's fine. Yes, water is the perfect drink.
Yeah, I'm trying to drink more of it. I think we're suffering from dehydration.
Most of us are dehydrated. You know, when our cells want fluids, they want water. They don't want espresso. They don't want cocoa. They don't want alcohol. They want water.
That's right.
One question I have for sure. You go to the store, it's easier just to order it right here, but there are so many different kinds of coconut oil. Virgin, extra virgin, the expeller. So what is really the best kind of coconut oil for you to take every day?
Well, you know, when you go to the store, there's only two basic types of coconut oil. There's one that's called the virgin coconut oil, and then there's one that's a more processed coconut oil, sometimes called RBD, refined and bleached and deodorized. And so the virgin coconut oil is an oil that has minimal processing. That's the term virgin. Right. And I prefer the virgin coconut oil. That's the type of oil that retains a little bit of the aroma and the flavor of coconut. Now, the other one that's a little bit more processed can have lots of names associated with it, such as expeller pressed, organic, natural, anything like that. But it won't have the word virgin on it. So tell the difference between the two. The virgin coconut oil will always have the word virgin on it, while the non-virgin one will not have the word
Well, is there
virgin.
one that we should stay away from?
No, both of them are good, healthy oils. The reason I prefer the virgin generally is because it has a little bit less processing, and I believe that foods as close to nature as possible are the healthiest. But even the processed coconut oil has the medium chain fatty acids that give coconut oil its miraculous healing properties.
And it's the virgin oil, and it is pure, and it's organic, and it has the medium chain fatty acid naturally occurring. Now tell me again what that does for us. Is that the part that affects the brain?
Yeah, coconut oil is unique from all other fats in the diet because of the unique fatty acids that it's made of. Fatty acids are the fat molecules that make up fats. And you can actually put them into three major categories depending on their size or the length of their carbon chain. So you have long chain fatty acids, medium chain fatty acids, and short chain fatty acids. And the vast majority of the fats and oils you eat, your corn oil or your safflower oil or your canola, are made with long chain fatty acids. However, coconut oil is unique. It's composed predominantly of medium chain fatty acids, and the vast majority of the coconut oil's miraculous healing powers come from the medium chain fatty acids. It's the medium chain fatty acids that the body converts into ketones that feeds the brain and protects the body.
Our time's gone for today, and it's been wonderful to have Bruce and Leslie Fife, Dr. Fife and his wife, here with us today. And we'll see you tomorrow. And I know you're going to have great stuff for us. I can't wait to hear more, because this is truly the miracle of the coconut.